So anyway, we got the 14 club challenge wrong.
And I thought when you were doing it, I thought this is a weird challenge. Like we're not surely you'd hit all 14 clubs. But
No, you do take them out. I think that wasn't what it was. I think it's that you, I think you lose a club that they're hitting, but I think it's that you get a point if you hit the green. It's not about like we were playing it's the nearest to pin on each situation, but it was about you've got to hit the green. And then you get a point,
see what you
and then you add the points up at the end.
So you could complete your bag, couldn't you? You could start, you have to hit the green with every club in your bag, see how many shots it takes.
Yeah, that's a good game.
That would be a better game, I think.
Your games are great, but they must take forever.
Like, hole-in-one's the best one.
The hole-in-one game you keep badgering on
Started in January, finished in June.
How'd you get on in 2021? No, didn't do it.
You completed it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday morning show. Good morning, Leicester.
Good morning, Dan.
How are we? And Happy New Year to you, 2021.
2021.
Hey?
Yeah.
What a year it's going to be. Let's hope, anyway.
We'll never forget 2020, will we? For
a number
obvious
of reasons.
No?
Yeah.
So hopefully this year we can have a little bit more positivity.
There's always positivity.
There is, yeah.
Certainly in our channel there is.
There is.
However, there has been a lot of tough times. But anyway, 2021, big year for everybody, hopefully.
Your 40th?
My 40th. Every year I try and catch you up.
I've got a couple more years yet till I have mine. So.
I was hoping for a big bash for my 40th.
Was you?
Yeah.
You still might.
It's
not till October,
it's my plan to have a big old bash.
Yeah.
So this week on the channel we've had obviously our New Year's special get-together. I hate calling it a special.
The gathering.
I don't know why we call it that, but anyway. But we did the Dunlop 65 and somebody should literally be using that golf ball.
If anyone from Dunlop is listening and has any of these smaller balls, apparently you're allowed to use them still, so can you send me a few?
I don't think you are. I think they are illegal, yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing illegal on the bus tour. No, so we could use it on the bus tour. You could use it.
That's been proven over a number of years.
Correct. Absolutely right. So, but yeah, very good, and you played extremely well. I was very impressed. Very impressed.
I didn't see any difference with that ball than a normal ball.
No, I didn't either.
Maybe
I'd like to test it a bit more with the driver because I felt like I lost a bit with the driver, but then it might have just been mishits. It could have been anything. It's hard.
I didn't feel like I lost a lot. Maybe 10-15 yards of driver.
Yes.
I thought the gains and the losses would have been far greater.
The question came in is, was that ball more designed with the old technology, so wooden heads, possibly. Things like that, so, and we've got some persimmon woods here, we could actually test that, couldn't we, a little bit further and
guess with a smaller ball and a smaller actual face on a club, it might be harder, wouldn't it? But I mean, using the modern equipment with an old ball made very little difference, if any, really.
No, absolutely. So then we did the review for the Hendriksen hybrid, and I want to open up this can a little bit. Oof. And I think that the Sunday show is absolutely the right
25 minutes
right time to do it. Well, we could make it like a stage, couldn't we? We could set it up. 2021. Each Sunday show is going to be opening a can of worms about club fitting. But you in the studio did extremely well with that club.
I did.
The numbers and everything. But as soon as you got on the golf course, you didn't like it.
No, I mean we have had this debate this week as well, haven't we? And it's something we've discussed quite extensively in the past as well, but it's the whole fitting process, isn't it?
And it's something that I think
we're very much in agreement over this as well, aren't we?
Now, what happened is in the studio, Leicester's hitting shots in the studio and he's just getting numbers, so he's just smashing into the screen and not really too concerned about where the ball ends up. And this is kind of what happens when people go and do fittings. Now, the discussion that Leicester and I have been having off camera in the shop, talking about some of the products that we're going to be putting in for next year, was is the fitting process 100% the right process? And what we mean by that is that at Torquay, if you get fitted for a club, if you're a member of the club, generally we'll let you go and use the club out on the golf course. So you get fitted for it, and then we send you out onto the golf course, and then you can test it in your own sort of space and time. Which is, if you think about that review that we did with the Hendriksen, that's kind of what happened with you.
Well,
so
I mean,
you hit some shots in here.
On that actual, using that as an example, if I'd come in for a hybrid fitting, I would have purchased that club on the drivable data from a studio, wouldn't I?
Yeah, 222 average carry.
Yeah, I like
that is bombing.
I will consider
putting that in the golf bag.
Putting one of these in my bag.
But we'll see how you get on the golf course with it first, shall we?
And then I'd have gone on the golf course and probably lost
confidence,
lost interest, been a bit disappointed.
Yeah.
Probably almost reluctantly, but thought, oh, the fitting wasn't quite right, so I can't hit it, or I don't hit it as well as I did in the studio, which, given my whole fitting process and the whole experience, would probably be a negative for me, which would then make me not want to come for a fitting for a drive or a set of irons in the future.
And this is it, because then what happens is the mindset is that I've been falsely sold this club, because the pro or Dan is in the studio telling me that these are my numbers and this and the other, and obviously you don't know what your numbers are, you're just hitting into a screen.
Correct. Yeah.
And then you get onto the golf course, and this is where, if you think about it, you get left to your own devices out on the golf course.
Yeah.
There's no chat, is there? And I think in some ways, the fitting should continue out on the golf course.
Yeah, I mean,
with the pro or the fitter or whoever's doing it.
I would just like probably to state the point that we wouldn't. Well, we try to discourage people when they come in and say, "Oh, can I try the latest whatever Cobra tightest driver? Can I take it on the golf course?" We try to say no. We want to fit them before they have that, mainly because they literally get the wrong fit, go out there, oh, the driver's rubbish, didn't hit it very well. It's not.
Correct, yeah.
It's just not. But we've seen in the past, and if it's not fitted correctly, or you just literally pick something to hit, it's not necessarily going to be the right fit for you. It's not going to perform to its maximum.
Correct. Think about this, okay? And this is something that, even though we offer it as a service, as in like we send people out onto the golf course with the products, it's something in some ways I'm a little bit reluctant to do, because there's a lot of money's worth of kit that pros have to spend and put into their studios to be able to fit players with. But if that player takes that club away, so they take the driver fitting head with the shaft and they take it out on the golf course, and we've had situations where the club hasn't come back in time for the next fitting, or somebody's come in for a last minute fit or something like that, ad hoc position for them to come in and have a fitting, and we haven't got them that kit to then.
No, that's always.
And this is where I get a bit frustrated is that sometimes clubs can go out to test with players that have tested them or want to test them, and they're not here.
I would personally as well say that the customer or the person purchasing should be aware that if someone is lending you or you're borrowing a particular piece of equipment from that pro, that he will only have one of that variety of that setup, and he's going to need that to fit. So if you're borrowing something, then bring it back, use it. Don't take it and I'll use that next week, or I'm not playing for a couple of days. Go and literally use that as much as you can for a short period of time. And if you're not playing for a couple of days, take it back to him. He doesn't want to be. The amount of times I've been phoning people, can you bring that club up? Oh yeah, I'll bring it back up next week. Well, no, I need that because potentially I could have lost 2-3 sales. Yeah.
So what is the answer to it? How does a fitting process even look moving forward? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
how does it actually work? Because when I was fitting myself for my clubs or my driver and things like that I've done recently, that was me taking it on the golf course, in the studio, and tweaking. I'm tweaking, but I have the knowledge to be able to do that and do it properly, that it then goes into the bag. If you think about a tour player, they have a van with experts there that come in and out of the van, tweak, take it back out, hit, take it on the golf course, hit. Back to the van, tweak, all these sorts of things. So how does that work?
Well, I mean, it's such a difficult subject. To me, so I see it as, I think there's a niche in the market for this, that if you had the best fitting equipment, the best studio, the best after sales, after sales service as well, and the best service, you're giving someone a day, that they would pay a premium rate for a full bag fitting. Me personally, if I had the money and I was getting a full bag, I wouldn't mind paying an extra 100, 150, 200 pounds for that service.
So I have a question then for you with regards to that particular product that we tested the other day. So in here, looked okay to you.
Yeah.
You hit it, felt okay to you. You got some good numbers from it. You took it out onto the golf course, and you just didn't want to. You were struggling to hit it and do how you hit the shots that you wanted to hit with it. Now going from flat lie to uneven lies, things like that we had out on the golf course, hitting off a tee peg, which we didn't necessarily hit in here, all those sorts of things. If that was an average golfer that didn't have access to what you have access to now, how would you, as a golfer, how would you look at that? Would you completely give up on that club?
Yeah.
Or would you be like, do you know what, Dan, I've been out on the golf course, I didn't really get on that well with it. Could I just spend a little bit more time with it? Or is it a situation that you've lost complete confidence in it, or is that individual people will look at that?
Yeah, individual people look at it differently. Me personally, I'm very black and white, so I'm quite opinionated, as you know. If I'd had that experience that I had after I got the numbers, I'd be almost like, no good, I don't want it, no good for me. So I basically, you might have spent an hour in the studio fitting me, and I've, from a retail point of view,
written it off.
I've wasted an hour of your life where you've made absolutely no money. But me personally, from knowing you and stuff, if you'd told me that club was right for me, I would persevere a bit. But I can see two different arguments for it. But as a person going into a shop with a pro that I didn't really know, and that happened, I would have been like, no mate, no good for me, thanks, but I'm not having it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can.
So what's the answer? What would be the ideal scenario moving forward from a fitting point of view?
I would like us to improve the fitting process, make this, get like a van, etc., or make this studio the best studio in the southwest and give people a better fitting experience.
Yeah, but ultimately that comes at a cost.
Oh yeah,
that comes at a cost to the person. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Put your comments down below. If you were going for a club fitting and you had experienced something similar to what Leicester had gone through, how would you have reacted? So that would have been point number one. I'd like to hear your comments on that. If you'd have done really well in the studio and poor out on the golf course, would you have written the club off? Do you pay for fitting? So if you're a member of a golf club or a local golf club, do you have the option to go and have a fitting? Do you pay for it? And also, would you pay for it if the experience was maybe just that slightly bit different? I'd like to hear, because I think there's a lot of questions out there that a lot of pros would like those answers, moving forward, because I think they would like to offer something special, but I think because they're struggling to charge for fitting, they find
whether that investment from the pro would actually benefit the reward, wouldn't it? So I mean, it'd be a bit of a risk, I think, especially with the amount of demo equipment that you'd have to purchase and the stuff you'd actually need. I mean, we've got quite a good fitting set up here with a lot of shafts, a lot of heads, like 4 or 5 different makes that we can fit people up for. But to go up that another level, I mean that's quite a big investment.
It is.
You'd also need a lot of time as a fitter. As a fitter, yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah.
Cool. We went off on a rant there.
But I mean, it's the same with suits, isn't it? So you give your suit, you go for your wedding suit, you pay a lot of money for it. I've never got that far.
No, you haven't, no.
But you go, don't you? You go for your first initial fitting, the suit's then made, and you go back to have alterations, don't you? You don't just go in there, pick that suit, that'll do, put it on, it fits about right, and then go and...
No, you get altered.
Generally, you get altered, but you're paying a lot more than you would for a regular suit, aren't you? Is that the way that it's going to go with the golf? I don't know.
I think you're probably right. I think it possibly has to, in order to get the best experience possible,
Right, so what about, we've talked about that quite a lot.
We've ranted.
Yeah, so what about predictions for 2021?
What like?
Like Lee's handicap.
Well, he's already predicted.
I haven't seen...
I think he wants to get down to 5, or an index of 5.
Yeah.
So I don't see that. It depends how much. It all depends on how many comps he plays in for a start, because that's got to be part of
and
it.
you can also put normal scores in, can't you?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how much type of competition he's going to be able to play. He certainly couldn't put a card in on a course vlog, so I don't know how that would work. But then I don't know. I don't know how that would work. But yeah, 5. Do I see him 5? Yeah. I don't see that too much of an issue for him.
Will on the Euro Pro Tour?
Will.
Does he win? Does he win?
Does he win?
That's a good one, isn't it?
Cool, my word.
He's got the ability to, hasn't he?
100%. It's whether he's got the heart to. Whether he's got the heart to get out there, practice hard and make that first win. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if he actually won an event.
No.
He's not afraid to win. Like, that's half the battle for a lot of these guys. They're a little bit scared of almost winning. Yeah. But he is not afraid to win. So yes, could I see him? It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying he's gonna do it, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did do it. I've sat on the fence there, haven't I?
No, it's a tricky one, because when people step up a level and they're playing West Region up to the next level, you're increasing, but you're getting better players, aren't you?
Let's be honest, there are some extremely good golfers out there playing on the Euro Pro, so, But he did very well in the qualifying, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did go on to win one. I mean, I've seen players, other friends of ours that have won on that tour, so there's no reason why Will can't. Any more predictions?
What about you to beat your brother at some stage, whether that's on your own or with a partner?
I think I might need a partner. So you're going to have to step it up. In fact, if you turn up with the Dunlop 65, we might have a chance.
Maybe that's what you do, challenge into a game with Dunlop 65. We've been practicing.
Yeah, we know exactly how they work.
I could imagine him storming off the golf course, like he did at Felston.
Yeah, he did storm off, didn't he? So, what about predictions for your handicap then? What do you think you'll be?
I don't know.
I think you'll stay where you are, because I mean you've stayed where you are for I would say about 5 years now.
With the new system, it's more flexible, isn't it?
Or
so
jumps up and down a bit.
So I could see myself maybe jumping down to say maybe getting to a handicap index of +2, but then going up to 1 or 2, during the season, depending on form, I guess. It'd be interesting because I've never really experienced it, so it's hard to say, isn't it?
I think you'll just hover around scratch again. I don't think you'll move much at all. I don't think you'll go. I can't see you going up to 1.
No.
I think you'll just hover around scratch +1.
Yeah, possibly. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? So what about predictions for the channel then? What do you think subs wise? We've grown nicely last year, didn't we?
I don't know. It's so hard to predict on what people. The comments that we've had this year from people talking about how they love watching the channel and they're enjoying it so much, and they've watched lots of other YouTube channels in the past, and that's lovely, to get that. But I don't know. It only takes one video to really kick it off in some stage, or a series of videos that can really get it going. And again, the more people that subscribe, the more potential you've got to then get out to other. So I don't know. It's very hard. If we continue the way we've gone, like we've gone this year, fantastic. I think this is not short-term gains. It's about how we. And I want people to come and get involved in the journey, because I mean we're learning as we go. As in, we're investigating golf technology. We're investigating what we do behind, in front of the camera, and I want people to come and I want people to kind of get involved with that and be part of that.
I think this year's been good that we just, we've all sort of on the same page that we think that course vlogs is where. We specialise in, and that's where our sort of strengths are, isn't it?
I think so, and I think that you've got to still enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't be just a club reviewer.
No.
And that would just kill me, But I enjoy.
That's the days I find hard. Yeah. Do a whole day of it.
I enjoy the fact that we've got good golfers on the channel that are mic'd up and people can hear what we're talking about, and that's something you don't get on tour.
No.
And it's something that I think that people really dial into as a bit of entertainment, and they love.
Remember when they mic'd Shane Harry up?
What's that? I didn't know. I haven't known.
It was like he was dropping a load of F-bombs all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what they. That is the reality. That's the reality.
It's their life, isn't it?
Of course it is. That's their business. That's what they do. So, but I think people enjoy that side of it. But
imagine editing him.
You wouldn't want him, would you?
No.
He'd be bleeping all over the place. So next week we start our Ashburnham trip. So we've been up to Ashburnham, we've been up to the south part of Wales, and this was done a little while ago in between kind of lockdowns and things. So we've got a couple of a couple of trips that we've got Ashburnham, then we've got Parl and Kempford coming out. So, and I'm editing Ashburnham as we speak. That comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've tried to it's been an experiment. We went to Wales. We took 5 of us and we did some videoing and filming with lots of different cameras. So I would like to get as much feedback from you guys as possible as to how you thought that's kind of gone at Ashburnham. I've loved editing it because of the different camera angles and things like that. It's been absolutely fantastic. If
anyone's got time and they want to do a bit of a critique of it, maybe have a look at one of our first vlogs.
Yeah, maybe Bobby Castle or something like that.
Yeah, have a little look at that and just see whether you think it's worth the. Because it does. I know it takes you a lot more time editing.
It does, and filming.
Yeah. So it takes longer, but we think it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see what people think. Do we need all that?
Yeah.
They might be like, oh no, the format. We don't watch it for that. We watch it for this.
But I think you're going to get a mix of different people that want different things from it. But so that's what we've got coming up for next week. So it should be a fun week.
Yeah.
Well, this week has been a bit of a rant, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
Huh? And I think that will continue. First rant of the year.
Not the last.
And I think I would like to dial in a little bit more into fitting side of stuff as well, because I think there's a lot more that we can talk about that can hopefully help people when they go for fittings and have their experiences.
Maybe you could video a couple of fittings for people.
We can definitely do that throughout the year.
Show what we do.
Right, have you got anything else to report? We haven't really talked about any questions that have come in for this week, but we will get those sorted obviously in weeks to come.
Yeah.
But
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody, and Happy New Year to you, Bernie.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. See you all again next week.
See you next week.